that's fine. It's okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
I speak now. Because one time when my son was playing football, his coach always picked on him. Every time he made a small mistake during training, he would say to him, unless if you don't do that, I'm going to send you back to whatever the hell you came from. This was all the time saying to my son. And my son felt like he was being targeted by the coach. He lost his confidence. He couldn't speak with other kids. And I didn't know what to do with the coach. If I thought I would go to the police station, they are just not going to listen to me. Maybe they will not take it seriously. I didn't know what to say. So what I think now is maybe with ambulance people, with emergency people, with coaches, with different people, just to give them a little bit more education about different cultures and how it can be. It's a small thing, but it's also a big thing. It comes especially when it comes to a child. So, and the police should make somebody feel a little bit more welcome or a bit more open. Sometimes you get the face like you shouldn't be here, even at the police station. So you just think, what's the point? Maybe that person didn't mean it. Maybe there is a cultural differences. But sometimes you see those things, small things, but at the same time they are big, especially when it comes to children. It can destroy their confidence with people. So maybe if the police themselves also have a way of giving, in public sectors, how not to, how to relate. To relate.
Well, my answer there to would be that really, as you know, that everything you've said is correct. And one thing is that is incorrect is that what is the point? The point is highly relevant. We have a second generation growing up now, and if people like you don't speak up, it will not be happened. This is not acceptable. Full stop. It is not acceptable. Nobody can speak to your son like that. They cannot say these things. Now we have Sports Against Racism in Ireland. We have several people who work diligently to try and combat racism. We heard about show racism during Cameroon. Please, if you don't get a start, you start off small, and if you feel you're not getting anywhere, will you please just give us a call? Please, and even go to the people you know in the community and tell them so that they can tell us. And it's only a matter of fault. We're not going to go arrest anybody. We're not going to do anything that will get you, that will make things worse for you. We'll deal with this sensitively, as I've said. So things like this, some people they think this is a joke. Go back to some people just don't see the hurt that they're causing. So it's important that we make them know that they are causing a problem. And if it continues, we'll be dealt with it seriously. So thanks for that question.
Okay, I'll take one from Catherine here.
I could ask 10 questions, I could talk all day, so actually what I'm going to do is ask everybody to do one thing maybe. My name is Catherine Lynch and I'm working with an organisation called ENAR Ireland. It's the Irish Network Against Racism, and we're also part of the European Network Against Racism. We have a petition, and this is what I want you to do. If you have access to the internet, I should have brought hard copies. Please sign our petition to racist crime recognised in Irish law. Okay, our website is www.enarireland.org, and I might send out details to Belinda and to you, Belinda, directly. The reality is that we and our members have been looking for proper legislation, and it is about formal equality, but we need the formal so we can do substantial, because there's a lot more to do with legislation. We have been looking for proper legislation to address racist crime. For a decade we have had promises and they have come to absolutely nothing. This is the focus of our organisation and of our members. Our members have prioritised this with very tight resources to have racist incidents reported, but to have the legislation, so there's nothing to be done about it. And it's time to be making noise, and we should do it with the front to make plenty of noise, so as we down at different points in time. But we need your support. And as we all know, we don't like it, but those who experience the oppression always end up having to do the fight. We do it as women, we are doing it as women, we are doing it as ethnic minority women, and ultimately I would ask people in this room, please sign that petition. Once you sign it, we'll be right with you again to get 10 more people to sign. We'll let you know that, but at least get your signature down there now. Thank you.
I'll take one from Asia at the back.
Hi, my name is Asia. I just want to make a small contribution to this amazing event, and I'm so delighted that I am part of it. We have a fight that we're talking about, and it's important that we carry this fight, but I would like to bring a balance to it and to take a look at the other side. And my point I want to put out is that we all have a part to play. Racism is real, but it is not everything that is happening to us. You're a mother, you're a father, you're a brother, you're a friend. How many of us will take the time to be part of the parent meeting of our children's school? How many of us will take the time to be part of a community call that's just around the corner? We want the Irish people to accept us, but we are not willing to be out there to be accepted. So I want to challenge each and every one of us. I take the stand that I am not understood. So if you challenge me, I will try to make myself clear to you, not challenge you. The Irishman is not intentionally bringing out his weapons against us. He's not. He does not understand. And it is your place to clarify for him what you are, what you believe. So while we have this fight going on, which is strong and amazing, go out into your community and be part of your community. Show these people, your next door neighbor, that you are a Nigerian, you're from Ghana, this is what you eat, this is how you behave. You're not an animal, you don't have AIDS. But show them by relating to them. So that is my contribution. Thank you.
My name is Mary Ryan, and I'm from the English Language Support Teachers Association and the Immigrant Parents and Guardians Support Association. I'm very privileged to have been part of this group today and very honoured to have been sent an invitation. However, I'm a bit upset because Fidel alluded to it earlier. I am old enough to have fought a very similar fight as a young woman on the gender issue when we were looking for equality for women. It was a long and hard road, and as James said, we have won the formal battle, but we have not won the substantial battle yet. So when I came here today and saw that there was a row of men, all of whom are very good looking and so on, that only one woman joined.
I'll give you the money later.
There was only one woman who laterally joined the group. I was majorly upset because it's like there's this barrier in front of me as I'm sitting here between me and equality. I wanted to hear the woman's voice. I want to hear what they have to say. I will quote, if you just give me the time, a few things that people said. If you take the title of today's conference, Overcoming Racial Barriers and Achieving Full Potentials. Can I replace racial with gender? Overcoming gender barriers and achieving full potentials. And the various things that people said could exactly be applied to the gender cause. Vincent said, we want to live lives free of discrimination. He said, he actually mentioned the gender issue. He said we must all help to clean Irish society. We must root out racism sentiments and become one people. We must root out sexism as well. The first thing Stephen Ojo said, the first thing our youth need is self-esteem. The first thing our young women need is self-esteem. We should speak with one voice. I can only speak with one voice on the racial issue if I feel that I am given equality. I cannot do it otherwise. James Evans very succinctly summed the whole thing up when he said, it's a very complex issue, providing equality of opportunity in every facet of our lives. There must be focus on the substantial equality rather than the formal equality. I think both have to go together. I think the gender issue has been dealt with formally, but we're far from having dealt with it substantially. And finally, James Emmanuel Wanke said, image plays a big part in the socialization process. Yes, what are our young women thinking? If a group fighting one form of discrimination organises it so that every speaker is a man, and I know Fidel said that Stanislaus was invited, Sister Stan. That's not.
Also Dave.
And Dave.
Yes.
A woman as well. But that's not good enough for me, folks. We are 51% of the population. I want 50% of the speakers women. I'll finish with this. What James said, my colour is my joy, not my body. My gender is my joy, not my body.
Take two more because we're rushing for time. I'll take the lady over there. Yes, you please.
My name is Emma, and well, I'm glad to be here today. I think I would say I'm privileged. One of the big issues I think we're faced with is the organizations to protect us. Because if I have an issue and I cannot say to somebody, then I think that there's a big problem. Like one of my big experience recently I had, well, just say a few months back, I wanted to have my son's passport renewed, and I went to the Ghanaian station to have it endorsed. This is a British passport, European. And I got to the Ghanaian station and the guy there said, well, I couldn't sign it. I said, well, it's a British passport. You are in a position to do that because it needs a professional person to sign this. And he said, well, we have problems with the English police. And I thought this was not professional. I thought this was not professional and it was racial. But I think these are all issues I think that we need to talk about when we're talking about the professional bodies. There need to be some kind of rules. The manner in which you present yourself, the manner in which you address people, and also there are certain things you shouldn't say. Because I wasn't expecting a Gardaí to say this to me. We were really distraught because I was there with my husband and my kids. So I think these are some of the things that we need to address. I'm just saying this because it's a big issue for professional bodies. And I've had other experiences. There was a time, this was my early days in Ireland. I was at the airport and we were snapping pictures. My husband came from England and my little boy was just born. He was just a few months old, and the Gardaí came up, grabbed the camera from us. Till today, I don't even have a single picture, and was gone. I thought it was because it was racial. My husband was traveling, so we couldn't address the issue at that time. And now, when I think back, what could I still have done differently at that time or even right now? Who can I run to? Who will protect me? Who will really address this issue? So these are all concerns that I think I would like to be addressed.
I want to say thank you very much. And you know, you're rightly so perceiving this as a racist matter, which is correct. I would perceive it as a racist matter. We need to hear this. Again, don't mind keeping quiet. You have to speak up. And you're well able to do that when you want. Let's be honest. Please, this is very important. You have to speak out and say, I demand my rights here. I believe that I'm being raped. I'm receiving a service that's racial. It's not, look, why am I here today? I'm trying to represent the guards, try and build up confidence in the people here to come to us. You know, we have a Garda Racial, the Cultural Diversity Office. We have these ethnic liaisons and stations. I need to hear it from you. At our conference in Dublin Castle, where we involved the Garda management, I need to hear people speaking up and saying, sorry, I was treated this way. Why is this happening? And this is how it will be addressed. I would take what you've told me, and it's great that you're telling me this. I would take this back to our management in community relations. If this happens again, if you hear of anybody, or if this happens again, you've got to tell me, and you've got to tell somebody that you're respecting our community. And thank you very much for that.
My name is Anne Daly and I'm working for their Leader Partnership, and I'm also here representing the Asylum Seeker Support Group, who it made the press, I suppose, a few weeks ago for really campaigning against inequality and racism. And I suppose I'm really happy to be here today, and I think, you know, this is our country, and I'd say it's our country, and we all have to work together to fight the inequality and to fight the racism. And I suppose I'm saddened by what I hear today, but I'm not surprised by what I hear, and that saddens me even more, but I'm also outraged. And I hear what people are saying. I think I particularly heard what you were saying about your child and how difficult that is. And I would say to people, within each county, there are organisations as well. There are kind of NGO organisations, like the partnership we work in Kildare, and Kildare has had a very bad press really, quite rightly, because of Darren Scully's comments. But I would say to people, going to the Guards I know can be difficult, but there are also other supports in your county. So, you know, maybe find your local partnership and see if there are support workers there, if there are community workers there that every day, I mean myself and my colleagues here, every day we challenge racism, we train anybody who's doing anything in our organisation around equality and the need to, you know, represent all people and to treat people respectfully. So I would say try and find that resource as well within your own county, within your own partnership, within your own community development projects. You know, we're all very, very open and would really invite people and welcome people to get involved. So just here's the advice.
Very clear.
I just wanted to, listening to both comments, just wanted to make a point that justice is never given, it is taken. It is seized. Sometimes through the sweat and blood of marching, other times through human sacrifice, which is much more than that. But my experience is that sometimes you need to go more than, and one way of doing that is reporting. You raised an issue here. There's actually statistics on the fact that 1 out of every 6 persons racially abused in this country go to the police for a multiplicity of reasons. I think I've enumerated some of them. But we need to report. Reporting is a tool. Because the moment you report, then the database expands on the issue. And the way you make an issue a national topical debate is securitizing it. Make it an issue by reporting. And when you report, you speak up. And that voice begins to change a room, which changes the country. Another way is to, I think, make use of your rights. About a month ago, a colleague of mine back at school, who was racially abused at the University of Dublin, took the security agency to court. And it was a serious problem. He wasn't even around, so I represented him to get a plea. And it was a struggle, an uphill task, threats from people we originally thought were up there to support us and all of that. Well, finally, he won the case. I think the award was 6,300 and something. It's not about the money. It's about the statement and the precedents. And he wrote back to me to say, look, I'm taking 3 more other agencies to court. You know? And this might be a small issue, might be really microcosmic, you know, but I think it is a statement out of that. We are in a society that is blessed with a judiciary system that is, and the majority of the time, is transparent. So what we can do is use that as a platform to assert our rights. Speaking of matching, using the courts, reporting. Because when you report, then you know you met somebody, and the reaction to that really matters. When I just came here a couple of years back, I got really racially abused, and I called up the cops in Limerick, and they said to me, we'll walk away. I said, I walk away, how is my dignity? The stain has remained on my conscience, and it's actually taken quite a process to heal that. So this is a situation, it is there, unfortunately. We have to deal with it. But the way we deal with it, like the way in which slavery and women's rights and other issues have been dealt with, is positive confrontation, which is reporting, being active about it, making news, making our voices heard, to the extent that this nation receives the echo of a voice of the people who want equality to reign across every part of this nation. Okay, that's how change is done.
So I wanted to talk about what she said, in the way she was talking about slaughter. And that really picked on me, because one thing we need to understand is this. It is not everything that happens to us immediately that we go straight to the garden. First, you have to start by talking and not just making a report, let it be documented. So in the case of that, you have a coach that you feel that is being discriminating in any way against your child. Go to the GEA or whatever, they have a manager, they have a board member. Talk to their board member first. Let them be aware of what is going on. Because you can, the guy can help you if they don't know about it. So they can't really do anything, because the law, like he said, there's some cases, it will be thrown away. But if you tell the board, which is managing that spot, you tell them first. And if you can do it, there's lots of organizations within your own community. Ask for somebody to advocate for you. I do a lot of advocating for people. And even myself, I face a lot of problems myself, which sometimes I find it hard to deal with. Recently, I'm having a problem with my bank. I wanted to open an account for my daughter, and I gave them, I'm from Nigeria, I gave them my passport, my daughter's passport. Normally, Nigerian passport, you can use it for 10 years. but first they give you 5 years, and after 5 years you go back and renew. When you renew it, it's been stamped for another 5 years. And the banks specifically said they refuse to take Nigerian passport on the basis that when we renew our passport, we stamp it. And I see that as a discrimination, not as my color, but based on my passport, my form of identification, which I use, which is a valid passport. So I asked them to put it in writing, because we could say anything, it would really work. I said, put it in writing, the reason why we are refusing to accept that passport. So up till now, they've not given it to me. So I can't really do anything much. But it's still important that we talk about it, not just talk about it, document it. And if you can talk for yourself, if you find it difficult to, because when things happen to us, we find it difficult to really do something about it. Look for people within your locality to advocate on your own behalf. And my organization is African Diaspora for Women here in Ireland. You can get my contact through them. And even if I can be of any help, because I'm based in County Cameroon, we have other links, even within Dublin, other places. Talk to your leaders within the community. That's why we have people that have a leadership role within the community, because sometimes we can't really do anything. And it's mostly within the African community. I've never been, throughout the time I was back home, till I come here, I didn't have any reason to go to a police station. What will I go there to do? Because you sort everything out on the street. Yeah, that is the fact of it. If you feel somebody is, you sort everything out. If you have they won't even, if you are in a position of authority, there's a way the police officer will react to you. And if you have a problem, you can easily solve it on the street. So why will I go into a police station? So coming here, going to a police station for me is as if I'm ridiculing myself. Because I'm not supposed to, they're supposed to come to me. So we still come with this mentality with us. And we just have to change it and educate ourselves, because this is a different environment which we have. So that could be a problem for an African person going into a police station to go and report cases. So we have to talk about it, document it. Because if you don't document it, nothing will happen, nothing. Yeah.
Okay, just the final question here. Mr. Wonky made mention of seeing the minority on the media and everything, on the TVs and the radios, among other things. I live in a little village in Longford. I'm yet to see a minority in the police force. I would like to ask our sergeant here, what percentage of the minorities are in the force, and are there any on the liaison commission that we can talk to, which may make things easier to address here?
In the full-time police force, there are approximately 47 members from minority communities, and in the reserve force, there are approximately 76 members from minority communities. Very small numbers. We would love to get more people to apply and join from the minority communities. At the moment, there's an embargo on recruitment, and we hope at the next phase that we welcome minorities into the force.
How many? 47
full-time, and about 5
Okay, so we'll now take the closing remarks by the chairperson, and then we'll just have a quick vote of thanks and then
Thank you very much. Mary has actually summarized most of the things that have been said. So I'm not going to be doing much on the content of today's discussion. But Dave made mention of minority in the force. How many are Africans? How many are black? I haven't seen any in terms of full-time policing. So maybe you can explain that, please.
Yes, very small. Very small again. It's about, I think, 4 CNAP members, 2 in the reserve. In the reserve, not in full-time force. So 4 in total. Some are coming and going, but I would say maximum 4.
Okay, that's fine. That's non-full-time policing. I want to start by making reference to the last thing Emmanuel said, which is in relation to people making reports. I think it's very important for every person to stand up and be counted. I am one of those people that will never take no for anything. If you do me, there's a Nigerian music that says, do me, I do you. Okay? If you do something wrong to me, I would demand an explanation right there. I'll give you an example. 3 weeks ago, I was on my way to Canada. Fidel went earlier, we belong to the same fellowship. He went a day before me, or 2 days before me. I go to the airport, Dublin airport. I wanted to pick my boarding pass. The Irish security officer, not police, security officer, asked me for my passport. I gave him my passport, Irish passport. I've been using Irish passport for the last nearly 12 years. So I have a second passport, which I got nearly a year ago. I presented the second passport to him. He looked at it. I've only been to Turkey and Nigeria with it. He looked at it and looked at it and said I should wait. He went to his colleague, gave him my passport. The guy looked at it and possibly cleared me. He came back, I asked him straight away, is there anything wrong? He said no, that everything was fine. Then he took my passport and tried, I don't know what he wanted to do, whether it did not work or it worked, I don't know what happened. The next thing I heard from him, can you give me another identity card? I said, what? An ID card that is superior to my passport. I said, are you joking? No, Irish passport. I asked him straight away, are you joking or you are serious? He said he needed another identification. I said, I'm sorry, I will not give you. Not that I don't have, but I will not give you. But if you want the old Irish passport, which has been cancelled, I provide it. And I put my hand in my pocket, gave it to him. He was still demanding for my identity. So at that point in time, I told him, look, I wasn't going to deal with him again. Once you finish with what you are doing, check all security. I won't prevent you from doing your work. But once you finish, I want your supervisor. And I meant business. So he said he would call the supervisor, but the supervisor will be coming from Terminal 2. I was in Terminal 1. I said, I don't mind waiting. Okay? So I got my boarding pass and went and waited until 2 supervisors arrived from Terminal 2. And I started talking to them. And their response was almost the same thing. So I called them, I said, look, what is today? He said Wednesday. I said the date. He said 8. I said, can you mark it down? One day you will remember me. And my name is Chinedu Nnadozie. You will regret it. Do you know why? He said no. Because you are supporting injustice. This guy has no right to ask me for another identity that is superior to my passport. But you are supporting it. I am afraid he will cause you a damage that you will regret and you could eventually lose your job. I said, I rest my case. And I left them. So that it is extremely important for you to stand up and be counted. I have done it many times on my way from Newry to Dublin. You know, the police stopped me. I said I wasn't showing any ID card. Because if there were 24 people, left and right, Irish people, white people, they are coming to me and a guy from Afghanistan asking us for passport. I said no. And I delayed the train for 15 minutes. And I still did not come out of that train. You know, I think people should do something like that. But you have to be very, very careful. Extremely careful. Make sure you are within your rights. If you mess up, you are finished. Okay? I always make sure I am within my rights and then I confront them. And there's nothing they can do. So it is extremely important you do such things. As a way of closing today's event, I want to say that right from the start, it has been a very interesting discussion.